This podcast will cover how to find the possible range of values for the third side of a triangle to be if you know two sides already. From the straw activity you already completed, you should have discovered that the only way to form a triangle is that if you add the two shorter sides together, it had to be greater than or larger than the length of the third side, the longest side. To find the range of values, we're going to pretend we have the two shortest sides and add those lengths together. The remaining side has to be shorter than that. So, if I have two sides of a triangle that are 5 and 8, first I'm going to pretend these are the short sides. If I add the 5 and the 8 together, I get 13. That means the longest side has to be less than 13, or the triangle that I try to form will actually collapse into a line. As demonstrated here, if my longest side is 13 and I have one piece that's 5 units long and another piece that's 8 units long, and I hold on to them and I'm trying to make a triangle with them, well, as soon as I let go, they won't meet. What's going to happen is each of the two sides are going to collapse right down and they're going to lay on top of that line. So it'll look like this. It'll look like a line with a little piece of straw right here and a little piece of straw right here, and they meet right at the ends, but they don't actually form a triangle. Now, if I want to find the other side, I know I'm going to pretend that I have the longest side and one of the shorter sides. And I know that the two short sides added together have to be greater than the other longest side. So if I want to solve that for one short side, because that's what I'm looking for the other short side, I simply subtract one of them from both sides of the inequality. When I do this, I find out that my one short side is going to be greater than the longest side minus the other short side. So I'm going to do this problem by subtracting the two numbers I have. I had 8 minus 5, which was 3. That's going to be my lower boundary. The remaining side of my triangle has to be greater than 3, or that triangle again will collapse into a line. This means for this particular triangle, the third side has to be some value between 3 and 13. It could be 3.15, but it has to be more than 3. Pause the podcast at this time and try these 4 problems. Then check your solutions. Following the process that we've just been given, we know that the first triangle would have, or the third side of the first triangle would have to be some value between 2 and 12. The upper boundary, 5 plus 7 was 12. The lower boundary, 7 minus 5 was 2. For our second triangle, the values have to be somewhere between 7 and 23. 8 plus 15 was 23. 15 minus 8 was 7. For our third practice problem, the values had to be between 4 and 8. 6 plus 2 was 8. 6 minus 2 was 4. And for our fourth example, the third side had to be a value between 0 and 18. 9 plus 9 was 18, and 9 minus 9 was 0. At this time, you should work on the problems from your assignment sheet. The podcast is concluded.